The Knicks have finally gotten their revenge against Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks, and I'm here to break it all down. What's up, guys? It's your boy Dario, Mr. New York or Nowhere, Mr. Queens get the money, Mr. Queens, let's get it. So today, the Knicks on MLK Day, they beat the Atlanta Hawks by the score of 119 to 110. Listen, the biggest thing that I took away from the game is the defensive intensity these guys came out and played with, specifically against Trae Young. There were moments in the game where Cat was switched on him, and he played really good defense. Mikal Bridges, I feel like for the most part, was on him for most of the game. He played really good defense, and there was a lot of yapping going on in between the two, which I like to see. That's one thing that I love to see from NBA games. I just like to see that intensity ramped up a little bit. And listen, we did a good job. We really did a good job. And going into today's game, we were 0-2 going against the Atlanta Hawks. The first game that we had going against them was all the way back in November 6th, which we caught that L, 121 to 116. And then the more recent game against the Atlanta Hawks, it was on December 11th, where it was a home game in MSG, and we lost 100 to 108. And everybody remembers Trae Young going to the middle of the court, rolling that dice, playing CeeLo. And I think Chris and I, or one of us, or maybe it was me doing a solo video, like we put out a post-game show and we said that Trae Young, he plays his best whenever the lights are on and it's time to perform. And where are the lights on the brightest? And where is everybody going to be looking to see how you're going to perform? In the Garden, where the mecca of basketball, and Trae Young, he just seems to rise to the occasion. And this is no shade to Trae Young, because I like him as a player, but it just seems like he needs to adjust some things to his game. But the one thing that you cannot say about Trae Young, you cannot say that he shies away when the lights are on. So Trae Young, salute to you on that. But again, if we lost today's game, we would be 0-3 against the Atlanta Hawks. So thankfully, we caught that W. What else can I say? Big Body Brunson coming into play, 34 points, 12 of 18 from the floor, 3 of 5 from three-point line, 7 of 11 from the free throw line, grabbing 1 rebound, dishing out 6 assists. How many minutes did he play? 39 minutes. Karl-Anthony Towns did play today's game. He ended with 13 points, 5 of 18 from the field, 1 of 6 from three-point line, converting both of his free throws, grabbing 9 rebounds, dishing out 7 assists with 1 block. In how many minutes? 37 minutes. So it looks like Cat has that sprained thumb. Cat has that bone chip on his finger. And it looks like, I guess this is going to be like a game-by-game situation. It doesn't look like Cat's going to miss like just 2 weeks straight up. It looks like he's just going to take it day by day. If the inflammation is really high one day, it looks like Cat is he's gonna sit out. But luckily, we had Cat tonight, and he was able to play, and I just gave you what he was able to provide to the team. But after Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges had a solid game, 26 points, 12 of 17 from the field, 1 of 2 from three-point line, converting just 1 of his free throws. He only had 1 free throw attempt, and he converted that, grabbing 1 rebound, 4 assists. In how many minutes? 27 minutes. Not bad. Mikal Bridges, 27 minutes. Not bad. OG Anunoby provided 8 points, 2 of 4 from the floor, 0 of 1 from three-point line, converting all 4 of his free throw attempts, grabbing 9 rebounds, 2 assists. How many minutes? 41 minutes. So OG, he didn't really get the look of the draw like Mikal Bridges getting 27 minutes. So OG played 41. And the heart and soul of the team, pun intended, Josh Hart, added 14 points, 7 of 12 from the floor, 0 of 1 from three-point line, no free throw attempts, grabbing 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. In how many minutes? 37 minutes. Our bench tonight, which is always something that we got to keep an eye on. The bench, who's going to come up and provide some sort of productivity to give the starting 5 a little bit of a break. Cam Payne was a leader coming off the bench with 10 points in 12 minutes. He was 3 of 8 from the floor, 3 of 6 from three-point line, 50%. Loved that. Converting his only 1 free throw attempt, grabbing 1 rebound, 2 assists, 2 steals in the 12 minutes. After Cam Payne, leading us from the bench is the Deuce is loose with 9 points in 20 minutes, 4 of 10 from the field, 40%, not bad. 1 of 5 from three-point line, grabbing 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal in 20 minutes. Landry Shamet also provided some minutes, 3 points, 1 of 1 from the field, and 1 of 2 from the free throw. So that the 3 points that he added to the team, it was not a three-pointer. He grabbed 1 rebound in 10 minutes. Precious Achiuwa, 17 minutes. Precious Achiuwa, after Deuce, who led the bench players with the most minutes, with 20 minutes, after Deuce, it was Precious Achiuwa with 17 minutes. So it's interesting how Cam Payne had the most points off the bench, but he didn't have the first or second most minutes coming off the bench. Deuce is the first with the most minutes with 20 minutes, and then it was Precious Achiuwa with 17, and then it was Campaign. Campaign, 12 minutes, 10 points, 3 of 8 from the field, 3 of 6 from three-point line, 50%. I like to see that. Converting his only free throw attempt, dishing out 12 assists with 1 rebound. Listen, the bench, it's going to be up and down. It's going to be up and down. Specifically talking about Campaign. I mean, he was able to provide a nice little lift off the bench in tonight's game. There were some shot attempts that I wasn't in love with. And, of course, going into April and the playoffs, like, he better calm down with those shot attempts. They're not a good shot diet, and Coach Tibbs will sub him right away. So hopefully this is something that he's able to do in the regular season, but he's just filling it out. But, yeah, I mean, this is the 4. These are the main 4. And if you want to throw in Jericho Sims in there, but I don't really know how reliant he is going to be going down the stretch of the regular season. But this is the 4 that's going to be Coach Tibbs in the regular season that he's going to be relying on. Deuce, Campaign, Landry Shamet, and Precious Achiuwa. And like I said, you maybe want to throw in Jericho Sims in there. But it's interesting how Cat didn't play in the last game and Jericho Sims started. Cat played in today's game, and then Jericho Sims didn't even come off the bench. Precious was the first and only big man backing up Cat. So that's just something that's interesting that we got to keep an eye on. This morning, before the game, I put out a video talking about how the Dallas Mavericks are shopping Daniel Gafford. But again, like, we got the W tonight. The defensive intensity was there. I'd love to see it. But again, Karl-Anthony Towns is playing through a messed up finger, and I think his knee is still bothering him. He looks okay. But Precious being the only kind of, I guess, the only big man that we can rely on, because Jericho Sims is in and out of the lineup. So we're gonna be relying on Precious Achiuwa in the playoffs. But if we could get Daniel Gafford, we could insert Daniel Gafford into the starting 5, make him start at the 5. Cat will move to the 4, his natural position. Or we could keep Cat at the 5, Daniel Gafford being the big man coming off the bench, relieving Cat. I would love that. That would be amazing. But just to wrap up today's video, Trae Young, man. Trae Young, he still had, his game wasn't terrible. He had 27 points, 8 of 22 from the field, 6 of 12 from three-point line, 50%, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, grabbing 3 rebounds, dishing out 6 assists with 3 steals. He even had a block in there in 35 minutes that he played. Trae Young he's an interesting player, man, because I don't think, he definitely can't be the best player on a championship team at 100%. That's not it. I'm not even sure if he could be the second best player. Third best player, 100%, he could definitely do that. But that Eastern Conference Finals run, that kind of just threw a monkey wrench in the way everybody looked at Trae Young. And of course, he eliminated us in the first round in 5 games. That was when Julius Randle was on the team, Derrick Rose was on the team, Nerlens Noel, I believe, Alec Burks was on that team. But Trae Young is an interesting player because it seems like the coach, he's been able to get into Trae Young's ear, and he's been able to tell him to adjust his game a little bit. Not be the traditional Trae Young where he's taking all the shots, making all decisions, and just trusting his teammates a little better. Right now, the Atlanta Hawks are 6th in the Eastern Conference with a record of 22-20. Their last 10, they're at 500. They're 5-5 in their last 10. So it was like around the NBA Cup time when it looked like the Trae Young and Atlanta Hawks were kind of like turning it around. But ever since then, I guess they've just been still trying to figure it out. And I wonder if Trae Young, if within that time, whenever they were eliminated from the NBA Cup up until this moment, I do wonder if Trae Young kind of reverted back to his old ways, or did he really commit to trusting his teammates and it just hasn't really worked out. The Atlanta Hawks are an interesting team, though, man. And Dyson Daniels, luckily in tonight's game, I think Jalen Brunson really made it a point to get Dyson Daniels into foul trouble, because the one knock that Jalen Brunson could have is that he has a lot of trouble with just like bigger players, more athletic players guarding him. And Dyson Daniels, he's arguably the best perimeter defender right now in the league. OG Anunoby is definitely top 3. Mikal Bridges is probably top 5. But Dyson Daniels, in my opinion, I think he's the best perimeter defender in the league. And Jalen Brunson has had off nights. He's had trouble going up against the Atlanta Hawks. The first 2 games, like I said in the beginning of this video, we took those 2 L's. Dyson Daniels was a really big reason as to why. But tonight, Dyson Daniels fouled out. And I think he fouled out with like most of the fourth quarter left. So it's going to be very interesting to see not just what the Knicks do, but what other Eastern Conference teams do with the trade deadline coming up. But guys, that's it for today's video. I want to say thank you so much for checking out. Leave it in the comments. Let me know what you guys thought about the Knicks' effort tonight against the Atlanta Hawks on MLK Day. Salute to you, Martin Luther King. But until next time, you guys do the drill. You guys know the vibes. Jalen Brunson for all the MVPs. The deuce is loose for co-MVP. OG Anunoby for Defensive Player of the Year. Taj Gibson, we love you. We miss you. Taj Gibson for president. And of course, Queens forever. New York forever. Queens get the money. I'm out.